The U.S. government loves to say, we don't negotiate with terrorists. But for the last few days, U.S. military officials have been meeting in Doha, trying to work out a deal with the Taliban that would protect Afghan civilians. Seb Walker is in Qatar tonight to get a sense of how the talks are going and if they're going to be able to save any lives. Seb, what are you hearing?
Well, Christian, we are hearing those reports that you're probably referring to, that there was a conversation over the weekend with a senior U.S. commander here from the U.S. military's Central Command, which is located here in Qatar, and officials from the Taliban, representatives from the Taliban sitting down with the U.S. military for a conversation about the unfolding situation on the ground. I mean, this is something which obviously we don't have access to. It's all happening behind closed doors. But one thing that I am hearing is that the U.S. doesn't have a great deal of leverage left in this situation now that there's been this lightning advance with cities falling and finally Kabul falling to the Taliban fighters as well. There's not a lot of bargaining that the U.S. can do in a situation like this. And it seems like the message was kind of along the lines of what we heard from President Biden earlier today, basically that the U.S. will defend itself if there's any attack, and there should be, an evacuation allowed of American personnel and other civilians. But at this point, there's not really a huge amount of pressure that the U.S. can bring to bear on the Taliban just because of what we've seen unfolding on the ground.
And wasn't that supposed to be the point of all those negotiations that took place there?
The nature of how things have collapsed in Afghanistan, everyone's very surprised. I've been speaking with officials who are also kind of astonished at what they're seeing unfolding. But I think one of the main points that they would make here is that the Americans gave a timeline for this, and that was something that they think was a strategic mistake. And I'm hearing that from various parties that, if you have a ticking clock down to the moment where you've said you're going to withdraw your forces, then really the Taliban has the advantage of being able to just wait it out. The famous expression is that from the Taliban side, you have the watches and we have the time. They have the time to wait, and that's how it's unfolded. And I think what I'm hearing here on the ground is that for the Afghan partners, for the U.S. Partners in Kabul, the Afghan government, there was an expectation that President Biden would draw this out a bit longer, that there would be some kind of change in policy from the Trump administration. That was a surprise to them. There was a moment where they thought with a new president, things are going to be halted. There's going to be some kind of reassessment. And they were pretty surprised by all accounts of the way that this policy continued.